Talia Maya, and I am back in the hot seat. And I know I always say I'm excited, but listen, today is top-notch excited because I got my girl, the one, the only Miss Talia. Oh my gosh! If you don't know her, that means you're not on social media because baby girl gets it in, okay? From Raleigh, but it's based out of ATL right now. But she definitely comes home and still supports. Come home and I mean you've done projects here, but we're gonna get into all of that. So the first thing that I like to do, okay, this is called a little basic, and I'm gonna tell you what that means, okay? Bae, because my crew got on me earlier. They said I need to put little dots in between the letters so you know it's stamped or something. But it's the brag about yourself portion of the segment, okay? So what happens is you get 60 seconds. And when I say turn up, I mean turn up. You get 60 seconds to tell us, brag about yourself. Because this platform is for everybody that comes on here, okay? So I want you to brag about yourself and just what do you do? Who is Talia?
Coolio. Hello everybody, Talia Brian. I am 26 years old. Like Ashley said, I am Raleigh raised, Atlanta based now, full-time filmmaker, entrepreneur, mother, agent, and photographer. So that's my life, that's what I do.
The time is still going.
What else? This is hard. I've been fortunate to work with a lot of people, blessed. I'm a celebrity photographer, been able to work with brands like XO Nicole under the mentorship of Garrett Blanks, who's based out of Atlanta as well. I actually just finished producing my first network film for Lifetime. The last quarter of 2020. It's called Lust. It's coming out in April of this year, so look out for that on Lifetime. Been able to do some indie projects. Ashley know all about that because she was right there by my side helping us birth it, called Feminine. So I also write material as well. I do short films, really creating content centered around Black storytelling. Because that's big to me and it looks like I'm out of time. So yeah, that's about me.
And she done said it all.
It was good. I was like, let me do a little elevator speech. And she like, you still got
time. So let's get into it. Okay, so Talia, you started here in Raleigh. How did you go from here to Raleigh to now like working with top-notch people in the game? What is your story? Like what? Take me on the journey. What was it like?
Man, listen. Long story short, God.
Okay. Okay.
But it really was, how did I get from Raleigh to where I am? Simply put, just being open and accepting what journey God had for me. Reevaluating my roots and what talents and gifts He always had me from the beginning. And it's crazy because I just did a summit yesterday talking about that, and I kind of broke down my transition from being an athlete.
Okay.
Where we met our
Yes. No, we was for real basketball players. Like I'm talking about in the paint. Period. Don't play with us. J4 Power. Shout out to Cookie. They came Mike Jones. Like, not for real. We really did start in basketball, and now when I say complete, like switcheroo.
Right. So long story short, transition from being an athlete into just being a complete creative and exploring what that was and not limiting myself. It started off doing photography, which led into just collaborating with people, which led into starting to get into video, film, producing, directing, writing, and it really just unfolded like that. I realized I was deprived a little bit, staying in NC with my gifts, but I'm gonna elaborate on that.
Okay.
Because I'm not coming for my city.
Right.
I'm not saying Raleigh don't got what I need.
Okay.
But the season that I was in, I knew there was somewhere else I was supposed to be, so I could come back to home and be of value. And so that was Atlanta. Found an internship, found a mentor, went out there, took a leap of faith, found me an apartment, had no job, saved up a few coins. And I was prepared to get a part-time job, and thank God, since I stepped foot, I just started investing, applying myself, and I was able to keep a clientele that really maintained me.
Yes.
And now I'm here, you know, it's just unfolded since. So that's about 5 years process since 2016.
Wow. Yeah. That is amazing. So through everything that you have done, what do you think was your greatest obstacle? And when I say greatest, I mean like the deepest lesson you learned through your journey that like really gets you like, keeps you going, you know, like you think about it like I can't give up because I remember when, you know what I'm saying? Right. What was that moment for you?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think you kind of just touched on it. I think my greatest obstacle that also gave me my biggest lesson was to trust inner spirit, to trust spirit, even though clearly what's around you does not match it. I think that's been the biggest lesson, and that's what I had to lean on in every chapter of my life to where I am now. You know, it's a repeated lesson and just shows itself in different forms. And so I think once I grabbed on and realized that, I was like, oh, I got it now. Like, I'm good, even in a place of new and discomfort when I don't know when my next, you know, check is going to come necessarily. I just have a rest because I've been there, done that. You know, after a while, it don't change. You know, I know I'm supposed to go into the arts, but I don't know how it's going to pan out. I know Atlanta is where I need to be, but I don't know how this is going to work. And just continuing to trust that and making that step, the next thing that I needed presented in front of me. So it really just showed me with God, honestly, trust what he says, trust that feeling, trust your gut, trust your spirit. Make that enough for the moment, and then once you get there, he'll be like, cool, now this is what's next. And you can say, bet, all right, let me move. But when you wreck your brain trying to get all that information before, you're just depriving yourself. So that's what I learned.
That's amazing, and I think that's great advice, especially for somebody that's sitting in the seat that you used to sit in, you know, trying to figure out, well, I am in a small town, like, how am I know this is what I want to do, this is what I'm supposed to do, but how do I, you know, make it to that, you know, that season of my life. So I think that's really dope. Now let's get into a little bit of your work, okay? What do you think, what's your favorite, out of all the projects that you've done, what is your favorite project that you have created?
You love this answer.
Okay.
Man, I have so many, actually I have so many projects that I love for different reasons, but since I can only name one.
No, run them down. I told you this is about you. Run the resume, okay? Run the resume, period, because we're here for it.
Okay, I got a top 3.
Okay.
The first one, feminine.
Yes.
You already know. And for those that don't know, that was my first baby ever independently writing, directing. That was my writing debut, my directing debut, my producer's debut, just everything. And I just went and took a leap. I had been working in the industry for a while at that point in Atlanta as a camera operator. So I was always on sets, shooting for music videos. I was editing content for my mentor, like from K. Michelle music videos, Tiana Taylor, doing tutorials for Chrisette Michelle, doing behind the scenes for Sanaa Lathan, for Regina Hall. So I was around it a lot, and I just got to a point where I'm like, this is good, God, I thank you. You're putting me in that arena of people that I've always wanted to be with. I'm making good money, but now it's time to do something for me. Now it's time to start feeding and nurturing my own visions, because I've spent enough time cultivating what it looks like to do that. So now let me do my own.
It's so crazy, because I gotta stop you right there to tell you, like, just off of that, I have to be woman enough to tell you, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of that project, because what you're realizing now, that's what I'm stepping into. Like, I'm getting my feet wet. Like, I started behind the scenes with you, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. You know, we sat down in the auditions, and I'm like, I should audition. I'm on the wrong side of the table. Wait a minute. God could get that. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like the more we worked on the project, it was like, no, but I love the behind the scenes too, and I love to be the creative sense to it, and I love to direct what gets to happen, or, you know, exactly how the vision, you know, should be actually produced, you know. So seeing that side of it, it was like, well, okay, now that I have all this exposure and all this experience, what can I do for myself and make myself the act? You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I realize is opportunity. Sometimes if it's not, if you're in your season of no, and I've been in my season of no for a long time, you got to find something for yourself. You got to start making moves yourself.
Ooh, girl, you just said something. You just said something.
That's what I found out. And like, that's what this is. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for that opportunity, because you were my sneak peek into the room, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I really do, because like your leadership, the way you carried yourself, the way that, you know, for me to sit up here and do emails and whatever, that's because Talia showed me that, no, if you're gonna be serious about this, you have to be professional. Because I've seen her work with people that's like, them names was on the computer, like, this girl is working with Lord, this email send it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really taught me that, so I definitely appreciate you for that. So I had to stop you on that, but okay, let's get back into the rest of the favorites.
Well, let me say something.
Okay.
We can go all day.
A week!
You got me when you just said something about you've been in your season of no for a long time.
Yeah.
Whew. It's so much much I want to say. That just triggered me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I want to say exactly, but for you, for anyone that can relate, I'm talking to myself right now. For me, being in your season of no does not become a no until your mentality accepts it that way.
Yeah.
Because for me, what I've realized is every time I was in a season of no from the outside looking in, I made a decision. I was like, okay, Ty, this happened this way for whatever reason. Accept it and figure out what that means for what you need right now for your journey. And me taking the time to do that without being bitter, without being frustrated, without trying to figure out what am I doing wrong, comparing myself, which is easy to do. Like, what is everybody else doing? When I did it that way, that's not the result I got. I'm Christian, you know, my heart, God, da-da-da, I keep getting stepped on. Why is this happening? And said, okay, that's not serving me. Let me figure out why you may be allowing things to happen the way they're happening, God. Why are you allowing people to do whatever they're doing for it to be a no? And when I put my focus on that and not the no itself, I started realizing and appreciating the moment. And I was like, man, like, it's money I wish I had had for other projects. It's pitches I've made that I wish I would have won that I didn't. It's people that I wish would have wanted to be on my team who didn't, that looking back now, I realize if I had what I wanted, I would have destroyed it. I would not have done by it what I needed to do. And now being at a place is completely different. So I'm like, man, God, I see what you were doing even in my season of no. So literally what you hear people say, like, no is simply just not now. But there is something for that now. So figure out what that is and just rest in that and own that until the next. So that triggered me though. I had to say that.
It's
but
real.
Okay.
The movie Feminine.
So going back to the movie Feminine, for those who don't know, it was a movie not about my life, but definitely inspired by parts of my life. Being a tomboy, being an athlete, female growing up. And so I feel like I never saw stories that reflect a voice of a woman like myself. So that completely took a lot out of me. I was on fire. I was passionate. I was tunnel vision about writing a story that I felt like a woman like myself could relate to. And so when I say we went all out, I started pitching to investors. I had a few family members who were able to sow seeds. I was able to raise $30,000, which is the most money I ever seen heard of, without being able to compare it to like what industry budgets were looking like at the time. So for me, I was like, oh, this it, God. Like, the fact that you made a way for me to get this 30K, that's you, that's a sign, right? So I kept going. Then I start building a team. Then I start reaching out to talent. Then I start trying to find cameos, just researching what does it take to get a film picked up. And I start looking at those things you think you need before you really learn for yourself. Like, you need a celebrity face. It needs to have some level that encompasses drama or drug life or sex or stuff like that. It's just like I really was so young and green with it, but I had all the right intentions and the right fuel. So that was like a year-long project, like 6-month project shooting wise. You know, we shot partly in NC, had an extremely big cast, did a casting call, more people came out than I ever anticipated. Actually, no, because she was on a production team. We had like over 100 people coming to audition. That blew my mind. For me, that was a sign like, man, God, you sent me the money, you sending me the resources, the team. Okay, it must be time. It must be time, right? Then we shoot. I'm like, man, this look good. This look better than I ever seen. It must be time. All right, then we finish it. Then we do the premiere. And
everybody looked banging at the premiere.
God showed up for that too. Had a whole movie and sold out, and it was like 500 seats. So I was on a high, but I was focused at the same time, because then I had this burden on my back of, man, this feels so good to accomplish something that I set out to do and have so many people in support of it. But now I'm trying to get it picked up. I saw myself doing content for Netflix, doing stuff that gets pitched to streaming platforms. And I met a lady in Atlanta who really believed in me. She helped sow a seed, and she said, hey, I'm going to be a showrunner for you. This is something she was trying to get into. So we were partnering, and I just felt like all the stars were aligning. Everything was done. And then I took this deep breath, and I realized nothing has happened yet still.
And I'm going to stop
after
you right
all that
there.
work.
I'm going to stop you right there, because listen. We have to get the rest of this. We have to get the rest of this, and I know y'all want to hear how this all plays out. But guess what? We're gonna hit on with a part 2. So that means you have to come back to get the rest of this interview. But from what you heard so far, if you want to follow her and if you want to contact her, talk to her. Now, I ain't promising that she's gonna. I'm not promising nothing. I'm just saying if you want to try, okay? Because she's busy. I'm gonna let you go ahead, shout out your social medias. But again, you definitely want to stay tuned for the part 2.
Coolio. My name is Talia Brian. Again, you can find me on Instagram at Talia Brian. My business page on Instagram as well is fashionprodigy_. Website www.fashion-prodigy.com. And of course, you can find me on Facebook as well for my name, Talia Brian. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay, that's it and that's all. Again, part 2 is coming, so make sure you click that one, okay? Because we're going to finish this off. It's your girl, Ashley Amaya, and you already know, baby, it's the real, the raw, the rap. It's the hot seat. Yeah.